What's up, everybody? Did I do it? Am I here? Ooh, that is not really visible. I need to like change something about that. Okay, well, the things you learn, right? So, how are we? Let's see here. Can I see my own stream? 28 watching. We're getting there. And I've muted that. And I think we're gonna do it. I think we're gonna not mess anything up this time. So we're just trying stuff out. First of all, how's the audio? My microphone is right next to the laptop that I'm streaming from, and for whatever reason, the laptop that I'm streaming from sounds like a jet engine right now. So, is it okay? The sound is good. Nice. All right. Cool. So, um, the what I have planned for tonight is I want to get some feedback from you guys, some I tell you guys some stuff, but I also want to uh, pick your brains because I have all kinds of stuff that I want to do, and I have all kinds of like uh, products and stuff, right? But I don't know what to do with it. So some of it I'm going to need your help for. So let's just jump into it. So the first thing that I have is uh, ooh, hang on, I have a thing. Watch, I can do a thing. That's not what I wanted. Maybe it is. Here we go. We're gonna try this. It's gonna be absolutely beautiful. You ready? Transition. Eh? I think I did it. All right. So you guys have probably seen these. The Respeaker Core 2. I bought one of these. Um, and it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. So yeah, I might be too far from the mic. If I turn out to do this thing more, I'll just buy another mic. Right now, I bought one of those Razer webcams, and I'm just using the mic that's on the webcam, so it might be pretty bad. But if I do this more, I'll get a new mic. It's fine. So I have this, and my initial idea was that I was gonna put snips on this and run snips uh, directly from this. But I figured out that you can't do that. You can't put the snips main thing on this. So I'm thinking about, I'm quiet. My audio is quiet. Is that what you're saying? So what I'm thinking about doing is from what I understand with snips, there is a main server, a snips server, and then there's like snips auxiliary units to put around your house. And the idea is, I think I can run the snips server on the same box that I run Home Assistant on. And it's my distance from the mic. Let me see if I can turn it up. I can probably do that. I'm smart enough to do that, right? Filters? Audio filters? Gain? Let's add some gain. Can you tell me if this makes the jet engine too bad? Close. Did that work? Am I louder? All right. So this thing can run the auxiliary unit, and so the idea is that I would hopefully try to replace all of my echoes with snips to have like a totally locally controlled thing. But then I saw another thing, and the other thing that I saw was pretty cool. Basically, it's a 3D printed case for this, and the case includes a little cutout for, say, here's a Google Home Mini, right? And so you put that thing over this thing like that, and it covers up all the microphones on the Home Mini. And so you assign this thing a wake word, And then, so it could be anything you want. You can literally choose, like you could say, have it be Jarvis or something like that, whatever your fantasy is, right? So you'd say, okay, Jarvis, blah blah blah, whatever you would normally say to your Google, and it passes that information, it passes that message through to the Google. But the cool thing is, you can scream this one's wake, right? The hey boo boo, um, and you can scream it right next to it, and it won't pick it up, right? So you can get all of the good stuff of the Home Mini, or the Echo, without having the spy on you stuff. Now they're clearly going to see what it is when you actually talk to it, but this acts as a little buffer, and so it just records things. It records like whatever the last little thing is that you say to it whenever you hear the wake word, and it doesn't automatic. It doesn't keep that information. It's all local. So I thought that was a good compromise because from what I understand, Snips is still not there yet. Snips and Mycroft, they don't do the same thing that Echo and um, Google Home do. They just can't. They're not there yet. And they might not ever be there because they don't have the cloud and they don't have the millions and millions and millions of dollars to invest and all that good stuff. Um, but this seemed like a good happy medium. So I might do a video on that, on having this thing. I guess it goes this way. Uh, those are, this is all the business end, but here's where all the mics and LEDs are. So it goes up like that, and then this passes that information. I think you need a microphone for that. So obviously, basically, it would have a microphone underneath it that would just sort of project that audio directly into the Google Home. I don't know. Does that sound like a cool thing? Have you guys heard about that before? Uh-oh. Oh, it's on top chat. Live chat. That's what I want. Hey, that's better. Am I still here? Am I still online? No, it works for both. It works for both. So basically, you just print a different thing. You just print a different adapter for it. I just don't have an Echo around here, although I probably do. I just don't know where. What's up, guys? Um, so that's the first thing. That's one thing that I wanted to do that's on my list of things after I get my blinds done. There's also a commercial product like that that goes over the top of your um, oh, so if so you actually listen to your Google Home so you listen out of your Google Home, is that what you're saying? So for all of my Echoes are connected to some other speaker. I'm the biggest audio snob ever. I wouldn't call myself an audiophile by any means. Like once it gets to a certain point, I don't care. But like audio out of phones and laptop speakers and Google Homes and Echo Dots and even the Echo Tap. We have an Echo Tap, and it's like borderline. I can handle the Echo Tap playing. I mostly need to have um, nice speakers. Let's see here. The only thing on the IoT to have internet access. Yeah, I'm there too. That's the only thing that's not local on my machine. Project Alias. Yeah, that's it, Frank. Here you go. Here's Frank's thing. Let's see what happens when I click a thing. Oh, it goes to this thing. Let's transition. I'm doing a live stream. You can tell me all the things that I do wrong later, Frank. I'm not a professional. Let's see. Small me, and I want to transition. Go. There it is. Yeah, so you put it over the top like that. Although this one, I think, doesn't use the same thing that I have. This one doesn't use um, the ReSpeaker Core version 2. This one uses a Raspberry Pi. Maybe is that a Pi Zero? and then a mic array. Oh, that's weird. What is that? That's probably the weirdest thing I've ever seen. All right, where did my chat go? Chat. What's it's raspy? Raspy? Oh, is that the that's the commercial version? Let's see. See if we can figure out what that is. I feel like I need like I have 2 monitors going right now, but I feel like I need 5. 5 would be good for streaming. Then I could have different windows open. I could still see the chat. I could still see all the other stuff I needed to see, and find my chat somewhere. There it is. All right. So moving on. Let's move on to the next thing, because I got a lot of stuff. I got a lot of things to ask you about. I did turn that on, Nicholas. I can see a thing where I can say to show it. It doesn't bother me, but I did turn off a like hold offensive comments or something like that. I was hoping it would like just catch racial slurs and stuff, but you know, I guess Google thinks lots of things are offensive. YouTube does. All right. Back to my other thing. Back to this. All right, here. Next thing. So, I tweeted about this a while ago, but I got one. What the heck? All right. So first of all, I'm gonna show you some of my shame. Here's one of my shame boxes. Right. So this is just all switches that I've never used. I bought a ton of things. This is a Home Depot thing. But yeah, these are all switches that have Tasmota on them that I'm currently not using. And yeah. Oh, okay. Here it is. All right. Down on the floor, shame box. All right. So, this thing. Tasmota. Built-in motion sensor, right? That shows up as a motion sensor in Home Assistant, right? So it shows motion true false. It's got a little switch here as well for controlling the switch. So you wire it up like any other switch. But my problem, and the reason I haven't deployed this yet, is that I was hoping that the switch would be easier to press. The switch is flush with the switch plate or whatever, and so I don't know how I can't give up a switch because the switches are still used in my house. Although I just had a good idea. What if I use this for a bathroom fan? Because you know, if you're turning on the bathroom fan, you mean to turn on the fan. There's a reason that you're turning on the fan, and so I could put this on a bathroom fan, and then I could monitor. I could have the motion sensor work for the bathroom then, and then just use this for the fan. That sounds like a plan, right? Hey, M. Noriega. Taught me about MQTT, Shelly, Sonoff, and all the rest. Awesome. I try. Yeah, I'll definitely go through all the comments later, Danny. I'll show it even. Alright, it's fun. Raspy. Alright, I'll check that out. Okay, so that's this thing, right? This is from ZemiSmart. ZemiSmart sends me so much stuff. They're awesome. My ZemiSmart people are so understanding of me. I've done what, like two videos featuring semi-smart things, and they've sent me like, I don't know, a lot of things, and uh, some of them I don't like. Like I got this, which was first of all, I don't really like glass plate stuff, so I, it's whatever for that. Because I have all like multi-gang switches, and so um, you can't really put one of these on a multi-gang switch. I know Dr. Z's did a thing where he like popped the front of it off and then put it behind a switch, which I guess is okay. That's passable. But I couldn't get away with this. There would be zero wife approval factor for this. But the other thing that I found was weird is that the fan up and fan down on it. I didn't put Tasmota on this because I wasn't really that invested in it. But I put it in and I tried it. But it made my fan make a weird noise. And I think the reason for that is that this is a fan controller that uses a triac, not capacitors, not like a normal fan controller. So I opened it up and I looked at it, and there's just a big old triac in there, like any dimmer. And so it's like changing the speed of the fan with a dimmer, and it made my fans make weird noises. Has anybody ever seen that before? Oh, by the way, let's see. I should put this in chat somewhere. I gotta find it first. My ZemiSmart person. I guess AliExpress is doing a huge sale right now. Has anybody bought anything? AliExpress ZemiSmart. It's like their anniversary sale or something like that. So I have this ZemiSmart official store AliExpress. Do. And then there's another thing. There's like I have like a coupon or something like that. Oh no, it's right here. Is this it? Is this the coupon right in the front of the thing? Let me pull it up. I told my ZemiSmart person I would show this. Which, to be fair, I love all their, well, not all their stuff. I love all the stuff that I've shown on my channel. I don't love this so much, and I just don't have a use for this. This is fine. This is just the fan controller without the light on it. But it does the same thing. It's a triac dimmer, so I don't know what to do with it. Transition. 62% off for a couple more hours. Or no, 3 days. Right? And that is because of the AliExpress anniversary sale. So if you want to buy anything at AliExpress, now's the time. I haven't really looked at what they're selling. So here's the motorized shade. So this is that the exact one I have? Yeah, it's this one. This is the one I have. And I have the 5.2 meter one, which is 172 right now, which I think it was like 185 or something like that. So it's not 62% off, but it's something off. And then I think there's a coupon. Save $6. No, that's not it. I gotta get the chat back up. I'm not good at this. Yeah, AliExpress has a celebration every couple weeks. I agree with that. But this one specifically, I think, is something more because my ZemiSmart person, Sky, never sends me anything about that stuff, and she did this time. Should I move the chat to the other side of my window so it's not over my face? It seems better, right? I don't know. I don't think think I saw that, Alejandro. I will check though. What was it about? Maybe we can do it today. I guess I could look, right? I have a thing. Twitter. I'm so proud of myself for, well, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but I hope that this setup I won't be sharing all of my credentials and stuff like that this time. I think I've got it set up much better. Stopping Node-RED flows mid-execution. I do know how to do that. I have, it's a function node. So you can't stop them at any point, but you can put in a function node that can stop any, that can block them. I have that set up. Even if there's a delay or something like that, you can clear all the delays, clear all the trigger nodes, and block it. I'll post that and help you out. All right. So next. The next thing I need your help with, so moral of the story, I don't love these. If you do love these, because this is the style of switch that you have, they work fine. They're 2U, so they work. This one doesn't work. No, this one. This one doesn't work with Tasmota yet. I saw Burns HA, Adrian over at Burns HA, posted a review of this switch, and he flashed Tasmota on it, and it didn't work. I haven't given it a shot yet, so I can't say that it won't work, but he could not get it to work. And he's pretty smart, so that's frightening to me. But, you know, I can give it a shot and see if I can get it to work. I imagine that since I still have it as not Tasmota, that I can go in and do a little packet captures and stuff to figure out what's going on in there. But again, I'll work on that. This one though works fine. I have Tasmota on this one. It works. It's just a dimmer, a fan switch dimmer. All right, here's the next thing I need your help with. I have this switch, which is 2U, single gang, but can go into a panel, sort of, but it has 2 click buttons on it. And the thing that I love is, listen to the click. Can you hear? Can you hear how satisfying that click is? Love it. Versus the only beef that I have with the Martin Jerry is, listen to the click on this thing. Oh, it's just awful. Ugh. But this thing, those clicks are beautiful. Okay, so here's what I need help with. Is this a standard size cutout in some country that I don't know about? Like, can I order switch plates that have this on here? Like a multi-gang switch plate that has this? Does anybody know that? It looks like it's like this big. It's a weird size. Can I link that switch? It's on that AliExpress link. I do not have a AliExpress affiliate link, so don't feel like you need to click through my stuff. You can just go right to the AliExpress store. I'm not getting anything out of this. I have them. Paste as plain text. Oh, this is a super ugly link. Is it even gonna let me post this? No, it's not even gonna let me post it. All right, I have to like bit.ly it or something. Google link shortener. Yeah, that'll work. That didn't work actually. Shorten URL. Copy. Paste. There we go. Okay, so it's Australian. So this is an Australian switch plate. Is that right? Yeah. So I should be able to get Australian. Okay, Australian switch plate. I will look for that because it comes in two gang or two switch. Obviously, it's a single gang, right? And then it comes in three gang, and the three gang also makes the wonderful clicks. It's the best clicks ever. Um, it does make it a real pain to take these things apart, though. So if you're thinking about actually taking them apart, I did that with another switch. Okay, let's be honest. I've taken like all the switches apart, but I did it with another switch, and there's to make this awesome click involves two different springs, right? It's springs on either side of the mechanism, and then like a fairly complex plastic mechanism to do it. It's not just like a single click button like the Martin Jerry's or the QLEDs or QLEDs or whatever. Those are awful. Yeah, single gang triple switch, right? So now I wouldn't use this for what it's intended for. I would use this. In fact, I probably will use this for the same thing that I use this for, which is this is the Tesson dimmer, right? Um, this I have one of these down by my desk, and I have my ceiling lights controlled by the dimmer buttons, and then I have a separate set of uplights that's controlled by this. So basically, I wanted to control two things from the same gang, and so I can dim and control a separate thing. So I just took this in my Tasmota configuration, and I detached it from, or no, this is on the relay, and then I detached this from the dimmer. So the dimmer doesn't actually do anything on that setup. I have this that presses the button that turns it on and off, and then I have this as just sending dimming commands only to my ceiling light thing that I actually still have not switched back from the RGBW2. Clipsol. Clipsol is the brand that does the switch plates. I am definitely going to save that. Oh, here it is. Nice. Okay, I do see some. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. Awesome. Very cool. All right, back to chat. I don't even know what you guys are looking at right now. I forget. Okay, you're looking at the desk still. All right, good. What do I prefer, LED lights 5 volts or 12 volts? So Ishmet, do you mean for individually addressable RGBs? Because for individually addressable, I've been doing all 5 volt because for two reasons. First of all, you can get away with 3.3 volt logic if you have a small enough distance between the LEDs, or between the controller and the LED. And the second reason is you get to use the same power supply then. You don't have to have a separate power supply in there. You can just use the 5 volt power supply to power the Node MCU and then do the stuff. But for non-individually addressable, I actually prefer 24 volts because you can go super long distances without having too much voltage drop, without having noticeable voltage drop. Obviously, the voltage drops just as much, but if let's say you get 2 volts of voltage drop, if you're on a 5 volt system or 12 volt system, 2 volts of voltage drop means you're at 10 volts total, which is a larger percentage of going from 24 volts to 22 volts, right? And you're always going to have the same amount of voltage drop no matter what your beginning voltage is. Yeah, Dr. Drew, I have a couple of dremeled out standard US plates already, so that's definitely an option that I can do as well. But this one's trickier because it's curved, right? At least the Decoras are pretty square. This one's curved on the edges, so I think it'd be harder. Not to say that I couldn't do it, but ooh, ooh, I had an idea. I have um, I have at school now, um, and in my little maker lab, whatever that I have at school for my tech club and for my engineering class. We just got a what's the brand? X-Carve. We got an X-Carve CNC. So I wonder if I could just CAD this out and bring in a switch plate, and I wonder if I could carve the exact shape into the switch plate. I bet I can. Bet I can. All right, so I'll do that. That sounds like a plan. That sounds like a see. I like doing that stuff, but I also don't like doing that stuff on like for a video because I'm just like, oh, just go get out your CNC machine. That's not fair. Why are things standardized 3v3, 5 volts, and not 4.5 and 2.9? You mean 4.5 and 2.9 based on the batteries, right? So the reason why 5 volts became a thing was that you could do it with, you could get 6 volts with 4 cells, with 4 alkaline cells, right? So that would give you 6 volts. But then as the battery dies, right, it would go down to some minimum voltage that you could handle, like 4.8 volts or something like that, which would be equivalent of each battery going down to 1.2 volts. But an alkaline battery is going to go down to like 1 volt, right? So it's actually going to go down below that point and be at 4 volts, right? And then 5 volts is also USB. Although I imagine, yeah, I don't know this for certain, but I imagine that 5 volts of being USB was the result of the massive amount of products that were already 5 volts based on their batteries. So now lithium cells are out, right? And so a standard lithium cell has that magic range in the 3v3, 3.3 volts. That's from what I understand, at least. USB is 5, right? 5 volts, not 3.3. Decent graphical user interface for Home Assistant. Well, Lovelace, you can make your own. And I know Dr. Z's uses HA Dashboard. And there's a bunch of them. If you search for different, you know, different UIs, I think there's a bunch of them on the Home Assistant forums. All right. So next. Here's another. So this one, okay, this is another Zemismart switch that I liked, but it's got a fatal flaw in my opinion. So first of all, why do I like it? Because it looks like a standard Decora switch. Awesome, right? And then, the real reason why I like it. Oh yeah, it's so good. All right. But the fatal flaw, the red LED is directly attached to the same pin as the relay. So when the relay is off, the red LED is always on. So there's no way to turn the LEDs. There's also a green LED and a blue LED in here, but you can't get a no LED state. So it's either going to be red or purple, which would be the red with the blue on, or yellow, which is red and green. Yeah, red and green is yellow. But anyways, so awesome clickiness, the best clickiness, but you can't turn the LED off. Now, can you go in and desolder the LED? yes, you can do that. I didn't do it on this one, but I have it done on the one that I have deployed. Have I used any myself and just stuck with Lovelace? Yes, I did that. So I made a cool thing. Let's see if I can get to it. Personal projects, Lovelace. So I made a cool thing where I Windows doesn't know how to open a photo. That's interesting. All right, here we go. I gotta switch. Transition. So my brother-in-law is a contractor, and he's a contractor for like super high-end remodels and new builds. And so all of their stuff is like super automated, and they've got these $50,000 plus systems in there. And the ones that they use are called, they're made by Savant. That's the home automation systems that they use in those houses. And so I was trying to mimic a Savant system. And so I went through and I made these panoramic photos. I have no idea what that is up there. I never looked that closely at it, I guess. But I made these panoramic photos, and I'm just going to scroll through, right, of my house, of different areas in my house, right? And then I used these as buttons, right? And down here I had some like quick access stuff. So you click down here for the quick access for each part for like lights and stuff that you use. But obviously each of these has significantly more stuff than you would just have for down in the quick access. So if you clicked up here, it would bring you to an entirely separate screen that would then have all the stuff on it, laid out pretty nicely. But I wasn't happy enough with it to keep using it. And also that's when that was before Lovelace was default. And so when Lovelace became default, I just switched back to like the normal Lovelace thing that looks like the states window. It looks like the groups thing. Because I add stuff and remove stuff enough that it's nice to just have something that's not pretty. My Home Assistant is forever in a state, and I'm sure you guys too. My Home Assistant is forever in a state of just disarray because I'm constantly adding things and removing things and testing things and making videos where I have to add them 3 times and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm in Florida. Hey, sir, good enough? How are you? Oh yeah. CB, you should get fully kiosk browser. That's what you want anyways. Cuz like you if you want to keep it on, it should be fully kiosk. Where did I go? I have an admin tab. It's not a test tab, it's an admin tab. Um, and I put stuff in there to test it out. But I put stuff in other places too. And then I forget that I've put them in other places, and then my wife will be like, "What is this thing that you added?" I'm like, I'm not sure. Click it and see what it does. Yeah, Frank, you're the king of of making home automation stuff and never having any home automation stuff. My house is like super. I've done now that I've done the bedroom. I've done every room. There's every switch in my house is tasmatized, except for no, yeah, there. I have a couple that are Shellys, but those aren't in the switches. Even the Shellys that are in the switches are tasmatized, but then I use the Shelly firmware on the RGBW too, because I haven't gotten around to figuring out how to do that without it. I imagine it's just PWM, but I haven't checked it yet, and I'm kind of scared too. I don't want to break it. Although, I think Shelly has. I think you can get the default firmware again. I think so. I think you can go to the Shelly website and download the default firmware for it. So if you mess it up, if you do the Tasmota flash and then you can't get it to work or you don't like it, you can just go back to the Shelly firmware. I'm pretty sure. Frank, I was watching your stream the other day, and my wife um, commented that she thought your wife was heckling you. Okay, so Frank, um, here's my problem with ESP Home. Um, it's cool. I like it. It's a good idea. Um, but I am a decently good Arduino programmer, and like if you know, I can write JavaScript okay, and I can write Arduino. I can write C pretty well. Um, and so it doesn't add much to the party for me. It doesn't add much value for me to use ESP Home. When I use Tasmota, what I want is just I want it to work. I want to put it on there, and I want it to immediately be working. And I want it to work in the way that I know it is, and I want it to have a web UI, and I want it to just be Tasmota, right? Tasmota is the easiest thing ever. Um, uh, that's not to say that you can't do more with ESP Home, because I think you can do more with ESP Home. I know you can do more with ESP Home. But if I'm doing something like controlling a stepper motor or WS2812Bs or DHT22 or something like that, I'll just write the Arduino code for it. I'm totally fine doing that, and I actually prefer it for the same reason, and I'll get crap for this too, for the same reason that I don't really like Platform IO, because I don't like there to be too much magic in my programming. I like I like to know what's happening at any given time. I don't like Platform IO because you hit the compile button and then it says, "Hey, we're going to go fetch the files that you need." And I'm like, "Where are you fetching them from? What are they? What files did I need? What dependencies don't I have? Where are you getting them from? Which version is it?" All the things like that. It comes down to me being crazy again. Um, but I don't like too much magic. I want to be able to open up the libraries. I want to be able to, choose which version of a library that I'm using. I want to be able to, write exactly the way that I want it to work. I want to know exactly how often it's polling it and things like that. And so in that regard, ESP Home doesn't add anything to me, but it is cool. I don't know if I like though the whole built-in API thing. I still prefer MQTT. Even if I used um, ESP Home, I would still use MQTT. I think because I have a lot of instances where I don't even ask Home Assistant about the MQTT. I do straight MQTT into Node-RED, and then I do some processing with it. And I don't want everything to have to go through Home Assistant. I like having the MQTT server in the background because I restart Home Assistant a lot. When you're adding things and removing things and stuff like that. but I don't restart the whole virtual machine, obviously, and so the broker stays up. And so if the broker stays up, then I don't get all the crazy behavior from things. CB, uh, your HA loses connection with all your devices. What devices that are done on ESP Home, or all your devices total? Who makes ESP easy? I've used ES Perna. That guy, man, I I spend a lot of time on GitHub when I'm looking through and trying to find different projects and stuff. And consistently, that the guy that makes ES Perna, um, Jose Perez, Jose spelled with an X, I think Jose still. Um, that guy makes everything that I use. I think I've used every single one of his libraries, and every time I go and I'm like, I need a library for this, and I go and try to find a library, it's his. He makes it. So that guy's awesome. Does anybody know him? Is he a Home Assistant guy? So CB? What type of devices is it though? Is it MQTT devices? Is it cloud devices? Is it um, API devices that use the ESP Home stuff? What is that? I code a lot too, not nearly as much as you, Frank, but um, Node-RED is still it's so powerful. I love it. What platform are you using for your lights, CB? Hey Frank, the good news is about Node-RED being a second point of failure is that your Node-RED add-on is super reliable. I turned off all of my watchdogs for it because they don't need it. I haven't had a Node-RED problem in, I don't know, 6 months, something like that. Um, so I was in the pool the other day with my wife for spring. My family was visiting for spring break. Oh, I have a story about that also. Family visiting for spring break, um, and here watch this. I even made a thing for when we're just chatting. Transition. Big me. I called this scene Big Me. So I um, oh man, I forget which story. Oh, so we're in the pool, and she said, you know, I have to admit, nothing has gone wrong in the smart home for a really long time. And I was like, oh no, why did you say that? You just doomed us. And sure enough, like it was that night, I think, um, like a bunch of my devices stopped working, and I couldn't figure out why. And I sat there and I, you know, troubleshot it, and couldn't figure anything out. And then I remember that I was testing some stuff out where I had completely, I'd not just set up a different DNS, but I'd completely banned a bunch of stuff from the internet just to see what it would do. And I sort of knew what was going to happen. And what had happened was the time sync server, the NTP server that it couldn't get to then, um, expired, and so they all lost their time and date, and so the MQTT server wasn't allowing them to connect because they had an invalid time there. They didn't know what time it was. I guess there's some sort of checks and balances there, and so nothing would work. Nothing would connect to the MQTT broker. But then I remembered that I had done it, and I was able to fix it. But I needed to make a note to myself like, hey, Google, remind me in 2 weeks that I purposely broke my smart home to see what would happen. It was not smart. Yeah, Frank, I saw that, and actually, I switched. I already switched to. I switched the Tasmota stuff because there's an NTP um, thing where you can point it to a custom NTP server in Tasmota just with a console command, and so I've done that already. But one of the other ones was a Shelly, and so I went on the Shelly forums and I asked them if they would put a option to do an NTP server. Now the easy way to do that, if I didn't use Google Wi-Fi, is just to set up local DNS and then point, say anytime something goes out for an NTP request, point it at the local server. But I can't do that with Google Wi-Fi. Although I can do it with Pi-hole. I know Pi-hole can do that, but I don't have Pi-hole set up right now because I felt like it was bogging down my network. Does anybody have that experience that Pi-hole made the network really slow? Oh, Donnie, no. I mean, the future of the channel is, if anybody has anything that they want to say about the future of the channel, that's fine. Um, yeah, I would be glad to hear about it. But that wasn't really the point of this live stream. The point was just to chat with you guys, and that really is a lot of the future that I'm talking about. Is that I'm going to be spending more time on videos. First of all, instead of having to turn around a video every week, which means that I would essentially do projects in a day. Sometimes I would spend like 6 hours on a project and then start making a video on it. But now I can spend like a week on a project and make sure it's awesome. And not that I don't think anybody's had problems with my projects failing or anything like that, but it did get a little stressful. And I felt like I couldn't do like really grand projects. I couldn't like tear everything out of my house and start over anew. I had to do it like in little bits, and so I can have more time for that now. Do I have a recommendation for a Nook? I do not. I have a Dell Optiplex that I use for my Plex server, and so I just used that computer to run my home assistant. And it's working great in virtual machine. Oh yeah, Donnie, I those are all in the works, man. I have, like I said, I'm starting all that stuff. Um, but especially the complete network overhaul one, there's going to be like I think I might need to send my family away for like a day or two, and just say, look, go to the beach or something. I'll get you a hotel there because the house is going to be a nightmare for 2 days, um, because nothing is going to work. When I take down the network, everything is going to die. Set your DNS back to your router and all fixed. Is that? Yeah, yeah. So obviously not using Pi-hole then, because otherwise you set your DNS to Pi-hole. Is the code that spaghetti like? Let's see. I'm not well. I'm not planning on using a pfSense router. Um, I think just because everybody loves it, everybody seems to love it. I think I'm going to try to do Ubiquity, do full Ubiquity, get two AC uh, light AC light access points, wireless access points, and one of their PoE switches, uh, and probably the edge router. I would think edge router X, but I'm not sure. I haven't I haven't fully decided. Um, I could be swayed either way. If you guys think that there's a better product that's not Ubiquity, I'm not tied to it. But but I I want to do it, and I want to do it right, and I want to do it to the point where I can recommend it, and I can show like a how to say like, if you get this stuff, and I don't want it to be super expensive, right? I'm buying this stuff. Ubiquity doesn't want to talk to me, I guess. So I'm buying all this stuff, and so I want to do the right stuff. I want to do affordable stuff, and I want to do uh, stuff that you guys would like. Stuff that is not too hard, not like impossible to deal with, right? That has a lot of flexibility and a lot of options, but isn't a total nightmare. You're another Ubiquity guy, Frank. Seems like all you guys are. Ubiquity integrates well. Ubiquity. Edge Router 4 instead of the Edge Router X. I don't think 802.11ax is out yet, is it? Wi-Fi 6? I've read a lot about it, but I don't think it's out yet. Yeah, I saw your Unify add-on, Frank. Is that instead of getting a cloud key? Does it work in place of a cloud key? I have one of my really good friends is a IT. He's the IT consultant. He's self-employed, but he does Ubiquity installs in businesses. So um, I I will definitely be you know leveraging our friendship, having him come over and show me the ropes and show me the exact right way that a professional would do it, not just some hobbyist like me. Cisco America. I don't know. I haven't looked at it, but I will. But yeah, right now I'm thinking of doing Ubiquity. You want to go back to the shame box? I got more. I got plenty more. In fact, does anybody want this? Anybody? So this is a Zemi Smart um, thermostat, smart thermostat, and it doesn't work in the United States because you need 220 volts at the thermostat. And we don't do that in the United States. We run low power, low voltage wiring at the. Oh wait, you can't see what I'm saying. Crap. Transition. All right, there we go. This is a smart thermostat, and it runs on 220 volts on the back, and it's like Wi-Fi, and it's Tuya, right? And I didn't try to flash this with Tuya Convert because it's got like an LCD screen and stuff. I don't know what it would definitely not work with Hasmoda. Definitely not work with ESP Home. Um, it's probably going to be Tuya. Um, so if you're against Tuya, you don't want this. But I don't have any use for this. So if you want it, or if you would like to maybe buy one, um, and you want me to guinea pig mine and do something to it, try to flash it with Tasmota or something ridiculous like that, I would be happy to do that for you. Because I have no use for it, and it's going to stay in the shame box because it's a shame. I can't use it. What else do I have? bought a bunch of these. I think I told you, but I was on the Dr. Z stream that I was saying about these. These are the like Famarosa smart plugs. Oh jeez, these are awesome, right? So I bought a 4-pack of these. There was a deal that went on the Facebook group, on the Smarter Life Facebook group, the one that Carrie runs, and he posted this deal. Somebody posted this deal. It was I think it was $14.99 for 4 switches, 4 smart switches, 2 smart switches that are 16 amp and have power monitoring. $14.99 for 4 of them. Prime shipping. Ridiculous. So I bought some of those. I've only used 2 of them. So I have 2 more for whatever. But into the box of shame you go. All right, you want to see something really shameful? All right, here we go. I'm giving away too much about my life. Here we go. Here's the box of shame. All right. Oh no. Do I even want to show you this? Here is a second box of shame. Oh man. So many boxes of shame. This one is mostly filled with Sonoffs because I don't use Sonoffs anymore. Look at all these Sonoffs I have. S31s. This I bought for a video. I bought this thing for a video. This is the, so you've probably seen the WiseCam thing, right? This is like the WiseCam PTZ, but I wasn't happy with the custom firmware that you could put on the WiseCam PTZ, the OpenIP, right? Because on my WiseCam PTZ, it crashed it, right? And then I noticed that that firmware was actually written for the Xiaomi Defang cameras. So I bought this, which is a Xiaomi Defang, which looks just like the WiseCam PTZ, to see if it was better on there, and it was not. So I didn't do that video because I wasn't happy with any of the outcomes that I got. So I have a WiseCam PTZ and a Xiaomi Defang, and that was $120 that I wasted or something like that, but whatever. Yeah, I could start giving this stuff away. You're right, I should. This I bought because it was on Travis's stream. This was like the first dimmer that he showed using Tasmota on, and then I didn't like it for the same reason that I don't like the other stuff, and that is that if you're a multi-gang box person, this, in the worst decision that was ever made, right? They rounded the corners on this, so it's not a standard Decora switch. Why would you do something like that? So there's the switch, right? And then open up. And then here, it doesn't fit. Why would they do that? They were so close to making something that was standard, and then they were like, nah, we'll just make the corners rounded so it doesn't work. It's not like it doesn't even fit. It fits perfectly if you just cut the thing off. Why would they do that? Crazy. Insteon box of shame. Man, that's an expensive box of shame. Mine is at least cheap Chinese crap box of shame. Yeah, videos about failures are good. Except for I instead of having an entire video about a failure, I do a uh, I'll just make my opinion known. Like if somebody posts about it in Discord or somebody posts about it in Facebook or on the Home Assistant forums, I'll say, hey, no, I had a terrible time with this, and hopefully steer clear of it. But I didn't want to post too many failure videos because I feel like they're just not that interesting, right? You want to see something that you want to do, right? You want to be inspired to get a project done, not, oh, I thought I was going to do this project, but it turns out it's actually garbage. It's another project that I haven't done yet that I wanted to do, but I haven't yet. This is cool, right? So this is for a ceiling fan, and it's a LED array. And so you just cut out the standard bulb that's in the ceiling fan and replace it with this instead. And it's got magnets, so you just plop it up into the ceiling fan enclosure. I was going to do it. I was ready to do it, and then the ceiling fan that I wanted to do it in was slightly too small for this, so I poorly measured it. What else do I have? What I don't have yet that makes me very sad is I don't have a Shelly 2.5 yet. You guys seen that? The Shelly 2.5? I already have plans for where it's going to go. Let's see. Video idea. Set up a low power home server that runs in Docker. Then run Home Assistant, Mosquito, and the Unifier controller in Docker containers. That's fine. Sparkplug, but why wouldn't you use HasIO? Just do HasIO, Mosquito, and the Unified controller as add-ons. Yeah, Brian. Oh man, I'm like way behind in chat. I'm sure. I saw the Wisecam stuff. I follow their channel pretty closely. So I saw that they're doing all kinds of good stuff and some questionable stuff. I like that they're doing the RTSP stream, of course. I'm not sure how I feel about the hub where they have like their proprietary sensors. Do you guys see those? That they have like door sensors and motion sensors and stuff, and they're using, it looks like Zigbee, I would guess. It's in the 900 megahertz RF range, but it communicates back to the camera. You like plug in a chunky thing on the back of the camera, and so then the camera uses Wi-Fi and acts as a hub for their Zigbee sensors. It's weird. Yeah, Sir Good Enough. I agree. I should give a lot of this stuff away. The stuff that I'm never going to use. I keep a lot of it around for for testing purposes. So I'm not afraid to blow stuff up. Like, if I have a Sonoff around and somebody asks like, hey, can I do this with a Sonoff? What am I going to use this for? So I'll just get it out and blow it up if I need to. Although I have specifically denied a bunch of people because there's been a bunch of people asking me to do a video on how to convert this to dry contacts, and my official stance on that is you should not do that. It's not made for dry contacts. In order to do it, you have to cut the PCB. Why wouldn't you use something that's made for dry contacts? Like this. This made for dry contacts, this not made for dry contacts. I don't understand why you wouldn't choose this over this. This is $9, this is $6, right? For $3, don't you want something that isn't going to catch on fire? I don't know. You choose. Dry contacts are when it doesn't pass the line voltage directly through, that you have them isolated, that the relays are isolated. So this, on a Shelly, the relays are all isolated there. You can see input and output on here. Okay, I do need to do that. Yeah, I will do that. So good enough, thank you. Sparkplug, yeah, that'll be part of the network restructuring video is showing setting up, Home Assistant on it. So I want to do, the video will be a combination video of setting up the network, segregating IoT stuff into a separate VLAN, setting up PoE. I have a guy. I met with a viewer, a subscriber, at CES, and he runs a PoE business in Texas. So actually I think it's in June, I'm going to be doing a podcast with him on his channel, but I'm also probably going to lean on him a little bit and ask him some questions about PoE and make sure that we're doing all the PoE. Because PoE is another one of those things that has like tons of different standards. And so you've got like active and passive PoE, and then within active PoE you've got different standards for active PoE, and certain routers only support certain standards, and certain devices only support certain voltages, and it gets really confusing really fast. So I want to make sure that I have all that sort of hashed out, and I want to make sure that I do it right, that I do it well, so that people get a good outcome from it. What do you mean, what do I use for my Tasmota switch, Remy? Everything in my house has Tasmota. So these have Tasmota, these have Tasmota. Everything in the box of shame has Tasmota. This has Tasmota. This has Tasmota. These don't yet. I haven't put Tasmota on these yet. I will, but I haven't yet. And I need to do it because I was planning on attaching them to the Tuya cloud, just to check them out and see what they did, see how they would function. But I saw that Tuya has pushed a firmware. So as soon as you connect this to the Tuya cloud, boom, it gets an update, and it won't work with Tuya Convert anymore. Smart lock choices for the front door, old-fashioned doctor. Yes, I have. I've looked into them. I'm not sure how I feel about them yet. My dream lock is one that has a keypad, right? So you can press the code to unlock the keypad, right? So you don't need a key. One that reports its state, right? So one that'll tell you whether it's in the locked state or the unlocked state, but is not lockable or unlockable via any standard, right? So I'm a little on the fence about whether or not I want to put a essentially hackable device to unlock my front door. Now, that being said, I have a hackable device that unlocks my garage, or that opens my garage door. So I don't know why I care that much, but it's one of those mental things. I think I haven't quite gotten over it yet, but I've been researching them, and I want to find a good one, and I want to find one that I can recommend, but I just haven't found the exact one yet. Which one do you have, Donnie? John, does the Shelly do power monitoring? This one does not do power monitoring. This one does do power monitoring, but this is the Shelly 2, which they don't sell anymore, I don't think. Um, the Shelly 2 does power monitoring on it's a single power monitor for both outputs, right? So that's a little weird. But the Shelly 2.5, which is in pre-orders right now and will start shipping in 3 days, April 1st, that one has separate power monitoring channels. So yes, it does do it, and it's $19.90 or something like that, and has two separate channels, two separate relays in it, and has power monitoring on both channels. Yeah, they're good enough. Have you ever seen all of the Z-Wave hacks? Even if they have a security key, there are ways around that, um, and they're all related to the fact that Z-Wave wants to have backward compatibility. So all of their insecure Z-Wave stuff has to also be able to communicate with all the secure Z-Wave stuff, and so you can essentially downgrade attack Z-Wave stuff and make it so that it doesn't even matter if it has the 16 hex pair security key. It doesn't need that, because it needs to be able to communicate with the version 1.0 stuff. When Charlton, when I was doing the interview with Charlton, he showed me a bunch of those, a bunch of different Z-Wave and Zigbee hacks. Vlad, same thing. Z-Wave Plus better than Wi-Fi. I think they're both equally hackable. Now, obviously, Wi-Fi, um, if you just want to knock it offline, that's super easy, right? DOF attacks knock Wi-Fi offline. But as far as like encryption and stuff like that, you'd have to be on the network, and if you're on the network, then you've already penetrated as far as you probably need to reap some havoc. Can you keep power monitoring with Tasmota? Yeah, all the Tasmota stuff is functional on here. You just flash it, and then you get power monitoring. You get relays. Everything works perfect, and it doesn't void your warranty. The Shelly guys will still warranty your stuff even if you put Tasmota on it. In fact, they're totally open to it. Love them. Love those guys. No problem, Frank. Thanks for tuning in. Quick set smart lock. I'll look at that. How do you like your S31? You flash it with Tasmota? It's a good switch. I have one of them in use, right? It's a good switch because it's easy to take apart, and it's 16 amp, but it's expensive, right? One of these is what, $15.99, $16, something like that, right? Versus the Tuya one that I didn't even have to open up at all. It's basically the exact same switch, right? Except for I didn't have to open this one at all because I did it with Tuya Convert, and it was $14.99 for 4 of them, and this is like $16 for 1. I think these are 16 amp too. Yep. Max load 16 amps, 1700 watts. Same as this one. Does anybody use... uh-oh, did I lose them all? So much shame in these boxes. Hey, a flash drive. That's not supposed to be in the box of shame. Well, I can't find any of them now. Huh. Alright, scratch that. Oh, is it in here? Maybe? Okay, here we go. Does anybody use anything like this? This is one of those Bluetooth trackers. And so this one is for, I think, a phone. So you can put it behind a phone case. Although I have the Apple Watch, so I can just ping my phone. But you can put it in a wallet, I guess. It's super small, super thin. Anybody use these for anything? I bought them because I was trying to do Bluetooth tracking, trying to do real-time Bluetooth tracking for the house, like presence detection. And then Shelly, I think, is going to get involved in that. They have an ESP32 unit that can do it, and so I'm just waiting for them to do some firmware stuff, and then I'm gonna hop into it. It seems cool. It's super small. It's supposed to last for like 3 years or something like that, 2 years. Yeah, is that a spam? How did we get spam? Hide user. This cheap smart switches. What did I do with my keyboard? There it is. Oh, you mean the Famarosa ones? They're not that price anymore. It was like a lightning deal, or no, like a coupon code. I'm sure that nobody made any money on that deal. It was crazy. There's no way anyone could have sold that for $14.99 and made any money. Or which ones are you talking about? These ones are $20. I love these. These get my 100% recommendation. I have, so if you saw the motorized switch video or motorized curtain video, I have these in my bedroom, and I have my DIY stuff downstairs, and they both work fine. I haven't had any problems with either of them, and they both get a lot of use. The ones in the bedroom we open and close every day, and then the ones that are downstairs, I have a HTC Vive VR headset, and for whatever reason the lighthouses reflect, like the lasers reflect off of the sliding glass door. So you can't play the Vive if the curtains aren't covering the sliding glass door. So I use it so I can say, Shishmexa, turn on virtual reality, and it'll close the curtains downstairs and start the smart plug up that has the other lighthouse on it. Yeah, well, Jason, it's actually a TV. So I'm up in like my essentially studio right now. Which link are you looking for, Matthias? Oh, this one for this thing? Oh, shoot, I added a plus. Don't go to that one. Delete it. Remove. Paste. Can I remove my own message? I don't know. What was I saying? Oh, so both of them are great, except for the fact that I really only play virtual reality. I really only play my HTC Vive after my wife goes to bed, for reasons that I feel like an idiot when I play it. if you've ever wanted to um, get into virtual reality, if you ever want to be tempted to buy it, the best game in the world is Beat Saber. It is so much fun, and you feel so amazing when you play it. Like you have two lightsabers in your hand, and then there are these like cubes, and you like cut them in different ways, and it's to music, and it feels amazing, right? You feel like you're, you know, some master Jedi, also playing in a band or something like that. It's awesome. It's the best game. Um, but I feel like an idiot when I play it. Like I feel like an idiot anytime I have the headset on because I know what I look like because I've seen my friends play Beat Saber and play other games, and so I know that you're just kind of flailing around. So I only play it when everybody else is asleep, which is fine because my wife goes to bed pretty early, which is really one of the reasons why I started doing smart home stuff, or why I started making videos rather, is because I have all this time between when I go to bed, which is like at midnight, and when she goes to bed, which is like at 9. So I have 3 hours a night to do stuff. Um, and, anyways, the moral of the story, I got super distracted. The moral of the story is that the downstairs curtains, when they close, are super loud, which defeats the purpose because and I say they're super loud. They're not super loud. They're super loud if the rest of the house is quiet. It's like a jarring, like, going from a totally quiet house to closing the curtains. And so if my wife is asleep on the couch, and I close the curtains, then it's jarring. So the the Zemi Smart curtains in that case are awesome. I love them. They're so quiet, and uh, and they're just the same speed, and they're not that much more expensive. So, like I said, I use the 5.2 meter one, but my sliding glass door could have been done with this one, with the $132 one, right? So 132 plus free shipping right now, plus there's like a $6 coupon or something like that. Where's that? Did I post that already? The coupon code. Do do do. Um, where are things on this computer? Downloads. Maybe you just automatically get it because it looks like there's like just a QR code. I think you just automatically get it, right? So for whatever that is. Uh-oh, I can't get rid of it. There we go. For $132 minus 6, so 125 bucks for the smart switch, the motor, and the curtain rod. That's crazy. Yeah, highly recommend these. They're awesome. Yesterday's video, what was the home automation site in the screenshot link? That was Reddit. Reddit home automation. If you've never been to Reddit, don't go there. It will suck your life away from you. But it's too late for me, so I still go there. Did I hack my Zemi Smart curtains? Yes. Okay, so you can still see what I'm seeing. Okay, so this thing here is Tuya, and so that means that this works directly with Tuya Convert. And I just set up some rules, some Tasmota rules, so that it functions the way that I want it to, that it doesn't turn the open and close relay on at the same time. But all the smart stuff, really, this is just a switch. It's just a two relay switch, right? So when you press the top button, the first relay opens, and when you press the bottom button, the second relay opens, and it closes the first one. So in Tasmota, you just set them up as latching, right? They're latching relays, and then so that when one opens, the other one closes. and then all the smart stuff is in the motor. So the thing that figures out um, how far they've moved and if they're closed or open, or all the way closed or all the way open, that's all in the motor. So this is just like a, you know, generic switch that has 2 relays in it. I did see that, Danny, that Andreas did the smiley voice assistant. I didn't think that it was that helpful, useful. It was like super niche. It was just like it saying some stuff to him when he got different codes. I don't really use my. I don't ever want my voice assistant to talk back to me. I, I mean, I guess weather, maybe sometimes, but I use my watch for that. My Apple Watch has weather on it, so I don't really ask my voice assistant to talk. I just say like do things, turn on the TV, turn on a certain channel, you know, turn on virtual reality, and I'd be fine if she never talked back to me at all. If she just went doo doo on brief mode. Any suggestions for a smart US 3-way switch using existing wiring? Yeah, there's Top Greener makes 3-way switches. Top Greener switch. Hang on, I'm grabbing a link real quick. They look like this. So this one's the dimmer. But I don't think you need to have the dimmer. There's also one that doesn't have the dimmer. Here's the dimmer. MQTT with event goes to control VR stuff. Like what, Eddie? What do I want to control in VR? Oh, you know what I do want that I haven't figured out a good way to do yet is um, I want to. I have an alarm that goes off when my daughter's bedroom door opens. It's not an alarm. It's like just a notification essentially, right? That it goes to my watch and it goes to my phone and it flashes some lights. But when I'm in VR, I can't look at my watch and I can't see the lights flash. So I want to have um, something pop up in my VR headset. I don't know how to do that. Is it possible to give the built-in HAS.io talk control a wake word? I don't know, Shane. I know that there's a Snips add-on, but it's I don't know if that Snips add-on could just trigger the TTS. Cool. I'm gonna check that out, Eddie. See, this is why we're here. You guys are teaching me stuff, right? I don't know everything. I don't even come close to knowing everything. Let's see what else we got here. Oh. Top printer switch. Oh, they have a PIR. Oh, no, this isn't smart. Here we go. Here's the one that I wanted to get. This is the 3-way with existing wiring plus smartness. Yep, flat. I did it with 2U convert. It worked very easily. I didn't open it. Just 2U converted it like normal. An outdoor light that has three-way switches? Oh, oh. So, yeah, yeah. I would use a Shelly. So I assume the enclosure for it is waterproof, right? Um, Now, depending on what that enclosure is made of, um, it might block the Wi-Fi signal. That might be something you want to check. But for you know $10 for a Shelly, and it's not like you wouldn't be able to use the Shelly somewhere else. So yeah, I'd go for it. Whoa, the cap is getting chroma keyed out. Oh, sort of, not really. It's green. Yeah, Donnie, that's on my to do. It's hard. I can do batteries easy. Batteries plus deep sleep is pretty simple. Um, but I want to do batteries plus deep sleep plus a solar cell. I think that's the real. I think that's the real winner. In my downstairs box of shame, I have a bunch of solar cells that I bought um, uh, that I haven't done anything with yet. Well, I wouldn't say I haven't done anything with them. I've used them a lot. I've tested them out a lot, but I haven't decided on which one's the best yet. If you haven't figured it out, I buy way too much crap. The Shelly 1, if it's a three-way switch, so if you have a three-way switch, the Shelly 1, which is this thing, has a spot for a live um, input for the switch, and so that's where you hook your Traveler into the switch input on here, and then that allows it to do its thing. There is a third box of shame, yes. The third box of shame has all the Arduino stuff in it. So this is all like pre-packaged stuff. This is all, switches and light bulbs. What even is this light bulb? Oh, look, it's a Shelly light bulb. Shelly. This still has the stock firmware on it. I should do something with that. Another light bulb, right? And then the other one has all the Arduino stuff in it. So all my ESP32s, ESP8266s, which were funny story. I when I was doing my taxes this year, I went through and I wanted to see what my expenses were for the channel. Right, this is market research, right? So all the stuff that I bought for making videos and doing home automation stuff, I went through and I wanted to see if it was worth claiming those expenses. Turns out it really wasn't. It wasn't any more than the standard deduction, but I got to see how many ESP8266s I've bought this year. It was a lot. Does anybody want to guess in chat how many Node MCUs I purchased this year? How to automate changing effects and colors. What do you recommend to do this? Node-RED and I would use Node-RED and Alexa Local. That's how I would do it. Oops, she heard me. She heard me that time. Drum roll, please. Closest is Sparkplug. I bought 47 Node MCUs this year. Is that a lot? Feels like a lot. and I have uh, I have like, I don't know, 15 or 16 in deployment, in constant deployment, and then a lot of them were ones that I blew up accidentally and on purpose, like testing stuff to see like what the tolerance was. Um, yeah. Where do I put all of them? In the box of shame, or the drawer of shame in that case. Um, Now I have, they're deployed all over the house. So I've got one that runs the aquariums, one that runs the curtains, one that runs the pool controller, one that runs the downstairs curtains, one that runs the um, some of the door sensors, right? So um, all of my door sensors have contacts on them, but the contacts are wired contacts, and so they go back to a Node MCU. They're wired back to Node MCUs. What else? Where are there other ones? Oh, I have one for the holiday LEDs outside. Um, Man, they're all over the place. Every room I think has one. There's one in this room that runs the. Um, I'm in the studio room, so there's one in this room that runs the LEDs for this room. All kinds of stuff. One thing, and you can tell me if this is a waste of time and if I should make a video about it or not. Um, over spring break, my nephew came and visited, Connor, and he is really into electronics and he loves all this smart stuff. He loves smart switches and all that good stuff. He's 10. No, he's 9. He's in fourth grade, and so obviously he comes to my house. We're gonna do something. We're gonna do something cool, right? So we 3D printed him a little LED light to go on his wall, and I used my Holiday LEDs 2.0 sketch. But the problem with that sketch is it has MQTT. It uses MQTT, and he obviously doesn't have MQTT in his house. So I took the MQTT part out of it, and I replaced it with just the hue emulation for Echo, and so he could just control it directly through, because he has an Echo in his room. He doesn't have a phone because he's in fourth grade, right? But and so he has no way of really getting in and going to the Alexa app and stuff like that. But he does have an Echo in his room, so he can control the lights. He can change the patterns on the lights. He can change the colors on the lights. He can change the brightness on the lights. He can turn it on and off. He can set an alarm on it. All kinds of stuff using just Echo commands, right? Uh, um, I think it's pretty cool. So what I was thinking about doing is setting up a version of my Holiday Lights 2.0 sketch where it has Wi-Fi manager and stuff on it, so that you could just flash it and give it to somebody, right? And then they'll go in and set up their Wi-Fi, and then have a couple things for setting up zones, right? Like how many LEDs in each zone or something like that. And then they'd plug it in, and instead of having to have Home Assistant or an MQTT server or a web interface or anything like that, it's just auto-discovered by Echo. It uses local. So it was pretty cool. It is pretty cool. I've played with ESP now, Jason. Yeah, I didn't love it. I really like Wi-Fi for whatever reason. Because if you use ESP now, then you basically have to have a hub, right? One of your Node MCUs is going to act as the hub for ESP Now, and then the rest of them are going to transmit to that, and then that one that's the hub is going to hop back and forth between ESP Now protocol and Wi-Fi protocol, which is fine, but it's just a hub, and so if you're going to use a hub, why not use Zigbee or something like that? need to smoke one on screen. I saw the doc blow up a D1 Mini today on his stream. Donnie, as far as the pressure sensors go, I bought one for the bed, right? For having a smart bed, but it didn't work the way that I wanted it to, so I didn't use it. Something just flashed in here. I don't even know what flashes in this room. It's like a green flash. Did you guys see that on stream? What does my workspace look like? I can't show you that because I'm not in my workspace. Actually, um, I'm in my like multi-purpose studio room. So I'll show you how ugly everything is. Here we go. You ready? Right. So I just have I guess you can't really see, but anyways, it's like a weightlifting thing behind it, and yeah, it's not pretty. I do all my work at my desk, which is downstairs. I'm upstairs in the studio multi-purpose room thing right now. But I have a couple multimeters. I don't have an oscilloscope. I have an oscilloscope at school, but I don't have one here. I thought about getting one. I have a TS100 soldering iron that I use all the time. I have a AOU, I don't know how you say it. Soldering iron and hot air station that I never use because it's in the garage and I have to go out there to solder and I have to set it up every time I want to use it. So I just use my TS100 99.9% of the time. Couple multimeters. I've got my pocket multimeter that's my go-to, and then I have a clamp meter that measures current. It's pretty standard, I think. I don't have like a ton of money sunk into my bench. Which one did I get where? Sir, good enough. Which oscilloscope do I have at school? It was inherited. It's an old one. Oh yeah, this is a ceiling fan reflection, definitely. Oh yeah, Jason, the TS80 is way cooler. The TS80 that has the USB-C on it. I use. Oh, where is it? I don't know. I have a 6S. Yeah, 6S battery pack for my drone, and I hook that up to my TS100 when I need to do repairs, like when I'm installing stuff. So when I did my holiday LEDs, right? We had a soldering iron outside. I was on the second floor, right? So awesome to be able to use the TS100 with the LiPo pack and just be up there soldering. No big deal. It was awesome. Which pressure sensor did I get? I want to say it was made by SparkFun. I bought it from SparkFun. All right, I got about 10 minutes left. I still need to write a test for tomorrow. My AP Bio kids have a test tomorrow, and I haven't written it yet, which is normal. I'm super paranoid about cheating, and so I always write the test the day before. Man, I did a terrible job of reading chat. I'm sorry if I missed your messages. I'm just scrolling back up right now and seeing all the stuff that I didn't see the first time. I'll definitely go through and look at all of it after the stream. You think they're gonna hack me? No, I think that they're gonna go by like the much more lower lower tech hack, and that's, you know, break into my room after I leave for the day and find it. See you later, Donnie. Have a good one. So, feedback on the stream. What can I change? What can I make better for next time? Best automation that I use every day, easy. My bedtime automation. I have a button next to my desk, and I press the button, and it turns off the TV. It turns off all of the lights in the house except for the staircase light, and it sets the staircase light to a 15-minute timer, and it closes the curtains in the bedroom, and it sets the alarm for the house, and probably other things that I'm forgetting. And it's awesome. You know, it's like the overall bedtime routine. And so we were talking about the smart lock earlier. What I want to have in there is a check to say, you know, when I press the bedtime button, is the front door closed, or is the front door locked, and is the sliding glass door locked? That's, if I could add those two things to it, it'd be awesome. No, Jason, I think the central topic was just, you know, doing a stream, doing a something stream, getting the first one out of the way. You know, everything is a little bit sketchy the first time. And then we talked about a bunch of different types of switches, all these different types of switches. We looked in my box of shame, and why some of the stuff is in the box of shame, and what stuff is getting used, and what hasn't yet, and what stuff I'm looking forward to, and yada yada. Yeah, Sparkplug, if I'm going to do this, I'll just get a Yeti, a blue Yeti, blue whatever microphone. That'll be good. What's up, Jay After Dark? How are you? Code something on stream. Glad to. What do you want to code? Oh, wait, where do I have that? So I made a Tasmota rules engine. Basically, the idea was that I wanted to have a thing. Where is that? Where would that even be? I wrote it in JavaScript, and basically there are drop-down boxes that say, I want my Tasmota to do this, and then whenever it does this, and this, and this. But I think people are overwhelmed by rules, and so I wrote a Tasmota rule generator. But I haven't finished it yet, but I'm pretty far along on it. I just have to remember where I saved it. It might just be on my school computer only. I wrote it actually sort of for fun, because I was I teach AP Computer Science, and I was showing the kids all the crazy stuff that you can do on code.org. And so I wrote this Tasmota rules generator in the code.org like interface, right? That you like make your own app, and it like does the HTML and the CSS for it, and then you code in the JavaScript. add-on for Tasmota rules generator. That might be more difficult. I don't know what language are add-on. Are they written in Python? I think those are all Python stuff. I'm not good at Python. I can sort of do it, but I can't do it well. IO expander. Yeah, I've messed with those a little bit. What do you need? What do you need more GPIO for? Whenever I need more GPIO, I always just use a ESP32 instead of an ESP8266. For your switch. Oh, for your lights. What do you need? How many things do you need, Jay? And you don't want to use multiple. You want to use a single node MCU or whatever. You can probably still do it. I mean, I think the ESP32 has like, I'm gonna say it wrong. I don't even want to guess. I think it's like 16 inputs and 13 outputs or 14 outputs or something like that. Obviously, the pins. Some of the pins can be used only as inputs, and some of them can be used only as outputs on the ESP32. And then some of them have like the special can't be high on boot, can't be low on boot, that type of thing. I have a video on that I watch all the time. I watch my own video every time I do a project. "13 lights, 13 buttons." You could probably do that with an ESP32. Right? Something like that. Yeah, I saw that Andreas Spice video about that was when he did the deep sleep that was like written um, in like the super low level code. It wasn't in C. It was written in something else, some compiler style code. All right, guys, I'm gonna sign out. I've got to go. Like I said, I've got to go write an AP biology test. So, do you think I should make it easy for them? Or should I make it hard? It's the last unit test of the year, so probably should throw them a bone. Thank you all for tuning in. It's been awesome. Ton of fun. Hope you liked it. Hope you had fun. I will return all of this stuff to the box of shame. And I will probably post somewhere about that thermostat. If you want that thermostat, you can send me a message. All right. Thank you all for tuning in, and yeah, hopefully we do this a little more often. Oh, I have one more thing. I thought I was going to sign up, but I'm not. I'm thinking about putting these as unlisted and then listing them only on my website. What do you guys think about that? Because I don't want my videos list to get bogged down with a bunch of live streams, because I think they're kind of hard to sort through and stuff like that. So if I put them as unlisted, I can put them on my website, and then you can search through them on my website, and that way I can also index them on the website. What do you think about that? All right. Sounds good. I will do that. All right, guys. Take it easy. Have a good one.